Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast. My name is Caitlin, and with me today are...
Jake,
Chris,
and Ames.
And we're here tonight for episode 83,
Woo!
wherein we will be discussing two Next Generation episodes, The Enemy and The Price. These are episodes 7 and 8 of season 3, which so far has been a better season than either the first or second season, in my opinion.
it just keeps going.
In The Enemy...
Galorndon Core!
Where are we, actually? Is that what it's called? Galorndon Core?
Yep.
That's the planet? Okay. So in this episode, there's an away team down in the Galorndon Core. I'm not really sure why they're there, but they are.
Distress call.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's why they kind of told you about it out of order. They're like, they're just out on this planet. And then they go back and they're like, oh, it was a distress call. So that's why we're here, by the way.
Oh, well, that explains why
and
I missed it.
Thanks, Picard.
I also watched this episode pretty late last night, so... Anyway, they're on the Galorndon... You say it again.
Galorndon Core!
Thank you. So that's where they are, and they are attacked, I think. That sounds right.
That sounds like something that they do.
Yeah, and basically the long story short is everybody gets the fuck out except Geordi because he fell down a hole like a fucking idiot.
Attacked.
Well, what actually happened?
It was just shitty out. It was just a storm.
It was a bad
Is that
day.
really what happened?
There was a storm and they found the guy passed out and he did kind of like rush him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a ambush.
Well, okay. Anyway, so, and they take their new Romulan, so they're kind of like attacked sort of by this little Romulan dude, but he's all injured and shit, so they all beam up, but Geordi is in the bottom of a gigantic fucking pit. Again,
Without even a nice soft Beverly to break his fall.
That's pretty good, Ames. And at first he can't find his visor, and he's like, oh shit, I'm blind. He finds his visor, thank God, but also I think foreshadows a little bit of what happens later. And at any rate, he does some really sweet phasering maneuvers and makes himself a couple of climbing picks so he can get out of the hole that he fell into.
Rand would be proud.
But yeah, so he climbs out and he runs afoul of another Romulan who has a phaser and pushed him around like a little bitch, but it turns out that the radiation on the planet is messing with the people who are staying on the planet. And so this Romulan, there's other stuff going on, I'll get back to that. This Romulan is not able to use his legs, and Geordi is starting to lose his vision, and the two of them have to work together to not die. But thankfully, back on the Enterprise, Picard is talking with the Romulan commander of the mothership or whatever, where these Romulans came from. And it turns out, guys, this is in Enterprise space, so this is what the fuck are the Romulans doing here?
Yeah.
Naughty Romulans. And
they just got lost.
Yeah, it was half a light year away, whatever the fuck Picard said. So the Romulan commander, captain, whatever the hell he is well, we're gonna come to the edge of the neutral zone, and you better give me back my dude. And Picard's yeah, sure. But he's not gonna do that because the Romulan dude is super sick, and they don't have the right blood to give him. And the only person on board the ship who has the right stuff, the right stuff, is Worf. And Worf is fuck no, I'm not giving any of my enzymes or whatnot, stem cells, to this Romulan. They killed my parents. And thankfully, the Romulan is totally on board because he's I would literally rather die than have your blood corrupting my body. And then the Romulan dies! So
Yay!
He got what he wanted and everyone's happy. No, wait, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. So the Romulans now are oh, you let my guy die and I'm gonna fuck you up. And Picard's if you come into our side of space, you better be ready to fight. And also, thankfully, Wesley, the boy, has saved the day by, dropping a beacon for Geordi to find. They can manipulate it with his visor, but his visor's not working because of the gamma radiation. So once again, he and the Romulan have to work together. The Romulan who is, which one was that? Was that... Gesundheit. Bochra. That sounds like some Klingon shit.
It did a little.
Especially when you say it. You sound like, what's his...
Tonkuvma.
Yeah, no, but you sound like Voch. Voch. Anyway.
It's just a man having a hairball.
That's your name?
That's why the Discovery Klingons are bald. They actually
lick themselves clean with their really weird long tongues. Makes no sense.
They got 2 of them.
Yikes.
One for each
No, that's
dick?
their dicks. Oh no! You're gonna have a really long tongue.
Okay, go.
Well, we've gone places.
We're almost at the end, Caitlin.
Yeah, so the point is, I don't know, war is about to happen, and then Geordi and his new boyfriend, Bochra, show up, and they're like, actually, he was wicked helpful. Yeah, he was pretty helpful too. And they're like, can we have our dude back? And they're like, yup. And that's it, I think. I don't really
Best
remember
buds
there being...
forever.
Yeah, no, BFFs now. So we learned a special lesson. Romulans are just like us, and...
Oh.
But it's still
Except
okay
that
to
one
let
guy.
them die if they killed your parents.
I think that's generally accepted as true.
Anyway,
I didn't synopsize it well, but I actually didn't mind it. I thought it was a pretty good episode. Anyway, then there was the price. There are 2 main storylines here. One of them is Bhavani Bazarn is trying to sell a wormhole that she thinks goes to the Gamma Quadrant.
Bazani is a Bazarn.
Oh, thank you.
What the fuck is it?
Bhavani.
Bhavani is her name.
Oh, her name is Bhavani.
Barzarn.
She is
Barzarn
a
is the planet.
Is it Bazarn or Barzan?
Barzan.
Barzan.
That's
Barzan.
it.
Okay, anyway.
Tarzan.
Bar Harbar.
Bar Harbor?
Voch.
Gesundheit. I think I already said that one, but that's fine. So anyway, Bhavani, who is a Barzan, is trying Oh my god, the fun never ends here, folks. She's trying to sell a wormhole. She thinks it goes to the Gamma Quadrant, and thinks that because the opening appears on her side at the same time every 232 minutes or something. But, in fact, we find out, because we send a probe in, that it actually does not always go to the Gamma Quadrant. Maybe it does do every 4th time. We might never know. We almost certainly will never know. Someone will figure it out. But at any rate, she's trying to auction this thing off. There are representatives from the Federation, which, I mean, I understand, like, getting to the Gamma Quadrant would be awesome, but I sort of am like, really? Where you guys are at an auction? That's weird. Also, Daimon Goss, who kind of Ferengis his way into the negotiations.
Typical.
Sort of like, I would say a Ferengi invites himself to negotiations kind of like Maleficent invites herself to birthday parties. You didn't invite me, what the fuck? I'm going to kill your
that
baby.
Frequently happens?
I don't know. I feel like dark fairies are always cursing babies in the fairy tales, aren't they? I don't know. Anyway, there's also, Seth Mendoza, who's the Federation representative, Leor, who is a Caledonian representative, and the sensuous Devanani Ral, who is the negotiator for the Chrysalians, which I feel like they're butterflies. Chrysalis aliens, even though aliens isn't spelled that way. I'm deciding
just
that
put
they're
alien in the name
butterfly
so they know.
aliens. So we're negotiating, and Raul and Troy are like wicked into each other. And it turns out the reason why they're so like inexplicably drawn to each other is because Raul is also part Betazoid, and he's been using his empathic powers to read people on the other sides of negotiations so he can, like, twist shit his way. Turns out he's really good at it because he knocks out the Caledonian representative just by being like, it sounds like a lot of paperwork, don't you think?
We hate paperwork.
We can't write with these cloven hoof hands
I
of
like
ours.
their hands.
They were cool.
Not so much the face makeup. That wasn't as good. But
No, it was a little weird.
Cool.
The hands were a nice touch, though. So, Raul puts Troy in the bone zone, which is awesome, and she and Crusher have some girl talk over some weird yoga or something. It just looked like stretching to me, actually.
They were getting to the scissoring.
Yeah, no, that's how you... No, I mean, as most people know, that is actually the normal warm-up for scissoring, so...
Yeah. Naturally.
Yeah.
And the required costumes.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to jump into that without a little warm-up. You're going to throw your back out or something. Anyway, Geordi and Data are sitting in a tree. EXPLORING. A wormhole, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is everything's fucked up. We need to go back immediately. And they try to warn the Ferengi, and the Ferengi are like, we're stupid and don't want to listen to you. And also, why haven't they figured out how to make prosthetic teeth that don't make us sound like we have balls in our mouths, but also a lisp? And so I think they die, yeah? They dead?
We'll get to that.
Okay. Something happens to them. I don't really know what, but I think they might be
They
dead.
get stuck in the Delta Quadrant.
Oh, that's right.
There's plenty of stuff out there.
Yeah, lots of stuff. Anyhow, so Devanani Rawl uses his
Penis.
empathic...
Oh.
Yes, and probably his tongue. Also fingers, I'm guessing. Maybe some toys. Handcuffs?
Yeah.
I feel like Troy would like handcuffs. Anyway, so he uses his empathic abilities, whatever, to weasel his way through. He, wins the negotiation or whatever. And it turns out, though, that he and Damon Goss were working together to try to prey upon the fears of Bhavani and, again, win the wormhole. Which is very naughty, and Troy is not impressed by his lack of ethics, and she outs him to everybody, which I thought was kind of not cool. I understand why she did it. We can discuss it. But at any rate, they're outed. They now own a completely useless fucking wormhole, because who knows where it goes when.
It's a great way to get rid of prisoners.
Ferengi.
Ferengi. Yes.
Luck of the
Ferengi prisoners. And Troy loses what I'm guessing was the best dick she ever got, because she was real into it.
I think, and we'll get to this, but I think Troy's been having more luck with getting some than Riker has in this series so far.
I like that.
I mean, you don't know what's going on between the scenes.
That's true. I suspect that Riker is just kind of going down the list of female yeoman, yeah, just plowing his way through it alphabetically.
So I tried checking. As far as I can tell from a quick Google, this is the only reference to the Chrysalians, and we don't know what they look like. So, yes, you want to think they are butterfly
monsters.
People, there is nothing to contradict you.
I like it.
Anyway.
The Enemy. I liked The Enemy, actually. I thought it was pretty good.
I did too.
I was expecting it to involve more rectal discharge.
That was between the scenes, as we've been saying.
I mean, when Troy fell into that pit, I was like, there it is.
That was Geordi.
Yeah, Geordi, whatever.
But interesting that you say, because apparently in an early draft, Troy was supposed to also be with Geordi on the planet.
But then they realized he probably tried to touch her boobs while she was unconscious, so they figured they wouldn't send him.
Well, it just really wouldn't have made sense to have her on that mission.
If both of them were
That's
covered
true.
in
Why
mud.
would she be on the mission? But Marina Sirtis was none too pleased when they cut that whole scene, because she was like, oh good, I get to go on a planet and do a thing. I get to hang out with this Romulan, our friend Bokhra. She would get him from attacking Geordi and help.
But it means...
And instead she got one fucking line.
But then they remembered she was a woman.
It doesn't matter that it was Geordi, but I think it's important that it was only one person.
That's true.
Yeah, but also again, what, if you're going to be sending... if anything, it just begs the question, if they thought there was a distress call, why didn't they send
a probe?
A doctor.
A probe. Beverly.
Quick, send the doctor! No, I meant the physician, not the psychiatrist. Close enough. Because there's no reason to send a counselor on that mission, unfortunately. For her.
Well, she could use her empathing to find him in the general area.
Okay, that could have been a justification.
And this episode was interesting in that the cold open was very cold.
Yeah,
I
thought
you're
I
here
missed
now.
something.
You're on the planet. Shit's fucked. There's a thunderstorm, and it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Worf was hiding under the bed.
And there's technobabble dust everywhere, which is fucking with our instruments.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Worf, because his plot really interested me. Because
he was pretty good.
They did not do anything I expected with him.
You thought he was
in a good way?
You thought he was going to give his bone marrow
in a good way or a bad way?
In a good way.
Okay.
Because I was expecting them to sort of take the easy way out and have him, for one reason
Learn a
or
lesson?
another, either go, oh, fine, or have maybe Picard just go, Mr. Worf, I order you. Or alternately, just to be a complete, sort of fuck you, pal. I half expected him, the guy was like, I don't want to be polluted by your Klingon blood.
Him to go, just to spite you.
Yeah,
excuse me. Doctor, I'm ready to donate as much blood as you can possibly take out.
Doctor, how much do I have to pee into his mouth while he's asleep? Can I also do a little poo in there?
It kind of, in a weird way, almost would have been amazing if he was the, spite resolution, because that's kind of hysterical. But I appreciate that the show's no, he is gonna stand his ground, right or wrong, and that Romulan is gonna die.
Yeah, a lot of the writing staff and Michael Dorn were really uncomfortable with this is a really, unethical thing for Worf to do, and we don't know if this is something we want to have in the show.
Wait a minute, it's not unethical. You don't have to give someone your blood.
If you don't want to. Also the point too. But as the idea is, as the audience, you're like, the expectation of a Starfleet officer is they're going to do whatever they can to save a life.
He didn't take the Hippocratic Oath.
No matter what. But Starfleet, they're above petty bullshit.
But luckily, Klingons aren't.
Yeah, and actually, it's interesting. I realize this is probably the first in a long line of Worf stories that kind of do that, where it's like, wow, Worf just did that. Okay.
Yeah, but no, because again, I was like, oh, of course, it's Star Trek. Of course, he's going to either... I mean, I figured it would be more... he would see the light. Or again, I was like, all right, he'll see the spite. Either way. But no, they just said, no, we're going with this. We are running with it, and I am duly impressed by that.
No, I like it too.
Good for them.
It was a bold move.
It's good for his character, too.
Yeah.
And it was good for the Romulan character to be like, no, we hate each other too much to live.
Yeah, and I think that, yes, I have nothing to add now that
Our other Romulan character, on the other hand, is super cool with continuing living, Bokhra. I liked him. He was kind of cute. And he and Geordi made a very cute couple. I liked them together.
Me too.
Although, come on, Geordi. I get it. He was helping him out. Like, the rocks fell on him. But he didn't think to just quickly disarm him before dragging him into the cave.
Well, that would just be unethical. We can't have two unethical moves in this one episode.
Yeah, it would not make... Okay, all right, I saved your life. Oh, you're still pointing a gun at me.
I mean, let's be fair. You could even justify it as... I'm afraid I don't think it would be unethical to arm him. He is an enemy combatant. But you could also just justify it as, well, look, I didn't want the gun to accidentally go off while I was moving him.
Exactly. Although, in a weird way, I think that if Geordi had done that, I don't think they would have had the same relationship.
Yeah, no.
I feel like if they did the old the turntables have turned maneuver, and Geordi now has the upper hand, I don't think Bokhra is going to be the one talking Geordi down to let's be friends.
Yeah, and similarly, I guess the other way they could do is have Geordi somehow dispose of the gun to try to prove everything was fine, but that again wouldn't have had the same. It had to happen that way to work.
Yeah, but so the Galorndon core.
What a shitty planet.
What a shitty planet.
Why? So they say, maybe the Romulans are coming here so they can set up some kind of a secret base for their secret Romulan agenda. This sounds like a terrible place to put a base.
Well, I think the speculation was that, it's inside Federation space, but no one's ever going to go there.
Because it's a shithole.
And sensors, you can't really detect shit on the surface.
Because of the magnetic
Yeah, but then they can barely get off.
Well, they could build...
unlike Geordi.
I'm sure they could construct their ships.
Yeah, I was going to say Geordi.
Shielding and whatnot. But if you did want to get a fleet inside Federation space...
Do you think that's why Geordi went blind?
Oh, shit. I never thought of that.
No, he was born that way. He said so in the episode.
Ooh, baby, I was born this way.
It's also possible.
I was born this way.
It's also possible you can utilize
Lady Gaga.
Yes. Utilize the planet. We already had her predecessor, Lime Lady Gaga, in TOS. From the episode with the
Shauna.
Yeah, with the collars, remember?
Hey.
The one with the big green
Goodbye.
Wig and the silver... where they were forced to fight in...
The fighting. The Quatloos. I bet 20 Quatloos on the man with the axe.
They're all looking at me.
Quatloos! How come they weren't paying for the thing in the episode with Quatloos?
When I
think of Quatloos, all I can really think of is Futurama. And I don't particularly remember this episode. No. Was she hot?
Yeah, she's hot. Green hair.
It's the same one where the burly, yellow alien that kind of looked like B. Arthur wanted to fuck Chekhov, and Chekhov probably fucked her.
It's the one.
They get put in cages.
Yeah,
and
kisses her and then punches her.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Famous gift.
That's pretty fucking kinky. Jesus.
I think you said that at the time. Yes.
Oh well.
But anyway, we got off course. It's possible also the
Not
planet.
us. It's almost like we don't have a star to steer her by.
It's
the title of the podcast.
We don't know exactly how wide-ranging the effects of the weird bullshit with the planet are. You could maybe even hide a whole, orbiting construction facility behind it.
Maybe you could hide...
If it orbits, then it comes around the other side, though.
Yeah, geosynchronous orbit.
You could hide the salami.
No, that's the next episode.
Oh no! But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things you could do with that little shithole backwater crap planet. Frankly,
it sounds like it's more fucking trouble than it's worth.
Yeah, I say
Why
give it
don't
to the
they
Romulans.
should just Genesis that shit.
They should. Section 24,
it's
whatever.
half a light year inside Federation
Order
space.
24.
That's why they'd want it.
Yeah, I know.
Because the Federation keeps an eye on shit on the neutral zone, okay? So you gotta get your shit together.
Oh, it's true. That's right. They just want an outpost there so they can, like, slowly but surely sneak in those shifty sons of bitches.
Hey, the Federation. Did we mention that we're back? Yes, 2 seasons ago. Shut up.
Every time we see you. Actually, I also like the Romulans overall in this episode, though.
They were a little more what I'd expect from the Romulans,
they
finally.
they felt like they were on top of their shit.
Sleazing around.
Yeah, being kind of in character. We meet Tomalak, whom we will see again.
First
Really?
appearance of the celebrated
times.
Tomalak.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, he's a...
I kept thinking his name was Tomahawk,
Me
and I was
too.
really confused by it. I was like, why is his name Tomahawk? This is uncomfortable.
Although Tomalak's not much better, 'cause that just makes me think of like Similac, so I feel like he's some sort of faux milk thing.
What's
some-
Similac?
Oh.
I think it's like baby formula or
milk?
something.
Yeah,
How many
no.
times did we see Tomalak?
4, I think. So when they bring our friend Patak, which is the Romulan who dies.
Patah!
Patak.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
these names are crap.
isn't that the Klingon word for shit?
I don't know.
I don't know, is it?
I think that's like used as like an insult between Klingons. You patah!
Got me.
This is Patak.
Patah!
Anyway.
'Cause-
They bring Patak on board.
Did a patah in my plans?
Or not. Or we can just do that.
Okay, they bring that piece of shit on board. Go on.
And they bring him into the transporter room, and instead of like a stretcher or a gurney or something, they bring him a medical lounger?
No, that was like the future space gurney.
What the fuck was that?
It was a prop
People would
that
want
they
to get
had.
injured all the time if you get to ride on that thing.
I also don't know why, if it was so critical, why didn't they just beam him directly to sickbay?
Well, they didn't know at the time who was beaming up.
Oh, well.
Yeah, they only had a vague idea that it might have been a Romulan.
Oh, well, why, if he was that critically injured, why don't they then beam him to sickbay
Well, I think they also
instead
wanted...
of dragging him through the hall?
Nah, that's a good point.
Listen,
they wanted to make Worf penitent or something.
Mm.
Because, like, Picard made a point of having him be part of the guard, and it was like, Picard, he's not gonna learn anything from this.
Mm.
That was actually another thing I was thinking might happen, that, again, I'm glad they didn't. This guy would beam up, and it's like, oh no, he needs the same procedure, and Worf would go, oh, fine!
This one we like.
So
He's
again-
kinda cute.
Again, like, thank you, show, for not doing the obvious thing.
I've never trusted Romulans, and I never will. Never forgive them for the death of my parents.
Which is...
Famous line spoken by
Yeah.
Worf.
Which I don't know.
Worf T. Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like Worf Tiberius. That sounds good.
Yep.
So that was that episode. It
Yeah.
sure was great.
Geordi has a funny line when he's talking with Bokhra, and he's like, I'm not lying. I never lie when there's sand in my
Oh,
shoes.
yeah.
There's a snake in my boot.
What has to be in your shoes for you to not lie, Geordi? Jello?
And then the sight gag when he actually ends up taking his boot off, and there's like a pound of sand. That falls
was a lot
out.
of sand.
There's a
Oh, so much
shitload of
sand.
That's
How
not
much is
like-
up his ass crack?
That's
A
what I'm
patah.
wondering. Yeah.
Amount of sand.
Seriously, he's just sitting there, it's like, oh, this is why they used to wear such high boots.
But that
Jesus.
was a high boot.
Tuck it into your fucking
No,
pants.
I'm just imagining that, like, you know, as Patak Bakra was following him around with the phaser, he was like tossing little handfuls of sand into the top of his boot, like, hey, you fucking asshole.
I like that headcanon.
But no, compared to the TOS boots, Starfleet boots have never gotten quite that high again, which
Yeah,
is
but thankfully
too
the
bad.
pants are a little more fucking reasonable, though, and instead of
That's-
those fucking goofy capri
you didn't like the
pants.
flare? The flare?
The flare
Shin
capris?
flares?
Yeah, no, I was all set.
I thought they were nice.
They give you length. They make you look tall, like bell bottoms.
Is that why they wore them? Because Kirk was also,
I think so.
along with being very vain about how fat he was, he also didn't want people to think he was short. Actually,
Yeah.
wasn't Chekhov the short one? Wasn't
Probably.
Chekhov
Because
like
he was
5 foot nothing?
Well, he was also like 8.
They probably just didn't feel like...
What an ugly child.
They probably just didn't feel like having to have
Sorry,
everyone
Walter.
tuck their trousers into their boots every week. Probably a pain in the ass. Look at that time Doc had to wear the big Nazi boots.
Mm.
I don't remember. Did he have a lot of problems with boots?
He couldn't get them
Yeah,
on.
he couldn't
Weren't they the
get
wrong
boots.
size?
They were
or
the wrong
something?
size.
I don't know. Yeah, they
He
beamed
has
him down
big
mid-boot.
feet, okay?
Anyway, this episode, not
This
TOS.
episode. Speaking of McCoy, though, Geordi's heartbeat monitor, even better than McCoy's. Because he uses his visor to check on how
That's
his
right.
friend Bulkra's doing. He's like, buddy, I canceled out my heartbeat, and I can hear your heartbeat using my special machine.
Finney's still on board. It's like, I've canceled out both heartbeats, and there's still one heartbeat. Finney!
One heartbeat, one Finny!
Finny is the gift that keeps on giving.
I was going to
really
say that Worf line was the gift that keeps on giving.
That too.
So I think
Both of
in
them,
both
really.
cases, gifts that keep on giving.
So yeah,
Sorry. I've amused myself.
What else have I got?
like it was decent, but not
Yeah.
a ton happened.
I liked it though. I
Oh, yeah, that was fine.
I
Yeah,
thought it was good.
Again, I like.
I can't tell you why I liked it, but I liked it.
I mean, I
liked
definitely preferred the Worf half to the Geordi half.
I think I'm the other way around actually.
Really?
I liked them both.
I like the Geordi half. I was actually
played
reading.
well together.
Yeah, I was reading up on it, and that section of the episode was based on the movie The Defiant Ones, in which a white prisoner and a black prisoner are in a chain gang, and they're manacled to each other, and they escape. And they're like, "Oh, they'll kill each other in hours. Don't worry about them. We'll track
Blacks
them down."
and whites
We'll
living
track 'em
together.
Mass hysteria.
Yeah, and they learn to cooperate and work together, and they develop a mutual respect, and it's cute until one of them dies somehow.
Or the famous science fiction film Enemy Mine.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah,
It's just basically this episode.
kind of. Yeah, except no one winds up pregnant.
That's true.
What was that movie?
Well, we don't know.
It was
Maybe
a- it was a-
Troy
it was
did.
basically-
We never know.
A human and an alien get stuck on a shitty planet.
And have to work together to survive.
Yeah.
But they're there for much longer, and I think it's just... I haven't seen it in years. If ever in full, I'm not sure. Anyway,
Anything else on The Enemy? I think we liked it enough.
yeah, there just wasn't a ton, like... For me, the main point of discussion is the ethical issue with Worf. And then Geordi's story happens, but there's not much.
But,
Well, I think
but
there's- I think
Wesley
there's-
saves the day.
Oh, yes, yes.
Parallels between the two stories. right?
Sure.
So I think that's why they go well together in the episode.
Oh, yeah, they do. For me, it's like for me personally, the more interesting aspect is, because again, yes, as I said, the parallels are sort of obvious, but the results are different, which I like.
Well, it's, you have these two guys getting over their prejudice, and then you have Worf and the other guy, the dying Romulan.
Who are just like, prejudice is
fuck
great.
you.
Yeah, and you see the implications that happen there. Like, that almost started full-out war with the Romulans.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
And Picard's fucking dad speech wouldn't have even worked because the guy was already
I
dead.
know, and that
Yep.
kind of diminished the dad speech. I liked
Yeah.
the dad speech, and then, like,
Worf, go to your room!
I don't know, and also the final confrontation with Tomalak, where he's like, all right, we're going to lower the shields now, so we're going to trust you. I thought that was nice.
Yeah, it was. It was good. The price.
The price.
Now, is
it
the
wasn't
price-
right.
Is the price...
Also, the titles lately suck. Can I just say that? The titles of the
The
episodes are
noun.
stupid.
The noun. Who
Yeah, I mean-
nouns the nouns?
I mean, here's next week. Next week is the
No, that's
Defector
not how
and
it
the
works.
Vengeance Factor, and then we have
I like
the
the Vengeance
Hunted
Factor.
and the High Ground. It's like
They go through the does.
they
get
go
to
through
does.
they're in the phase right now, and I think it's stupid.
Mm,
You know, a lot of languages don't even have a the.
that's true.
Mm.
So, without spoiling too much, I'm just going to say I think that
Yar dies?
that this episode and
Sorry,
its
Caitlin.
sister episode might be the second longest gap between two-parters,
Interesting.
because this episode does have a second part.
It does,
The
yes.
Price does?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Does that mean is my boyfriend gonna return?
No.
No, it's another
Oh,
part.
the wormhole
You'll-
returns.
We'll get to it in a long
Long time. That's why I say
I
it's a
actually-
very
So
long
let's
What, is
talk.
it a movie?
No.
No,
It's
let's
not
talk.
that long.
Let's talk about your
It's
boyfriend.
Longer.
Whoa!
It's
a different
it's
series.
2 series away.
Wow. All right.
Yeah,
So let's talk about your boyfriend here, because first of all, he's
Mr. Blue
reprehensible.
Eyes.
He's what?
He's reprehensible
Why?
because he's a fucking monster.
But-
And second of all, he looks like he walked straight out of TOS,
He looks like he walked straight out of a Scientology recruitment video.
or that.
I think he'd be a really good live action Archer. Not as good as John Hamm, but second choice.
I don't think he's got the chin. I don't think he's got the chin for it. If I'm being frank.
But he's got the eyes for it.
Chin.
Yeah. Yo, you do. Slap a blonde wig on him, he can be Barry.
Which one's Barry?
The
Oh, God.
guy from Odin.
Barry?
Who winds
you
up
asshole!
Winds up
the
as a-
cyborg.
Yeah. But no, really, he had a very 60s look.
Yeah, you're right. He totally did.
He put a little bit
He had one of those 60s faces.
He had Pike's
that you were
eyes,
supposed to
too.
have.
He did, yeah. There was a Pike quality. If you took this screen cap and put sort of a grain over it to make it look like a 60s still, and you said, hey, it's from TOS, someone would probably go, yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. He's dressed kind of neutrally.
Yeah. But no, he's a fucking prick.
He's also a cretin.
Yeah, sure.
Those aren't mutually exclusive.
He,
Easy for
immediately, as, I think, which one of you said it during the episode? But he just crossed the line immediately.
Oh, I said it. It was me.
Wildly inappropriate.
Let me sniff your hair.
Well, he could tell from her, because he could
at the time,
he could empath her.
Didn't know he was an empath.
He could hear her
just
vagina
thought he was
churning.
a rapist.
Yeah, so, I guess empathic consent, but that's a whole fucking weird thing I don't want to try to unpack.
I don't even think she gave empathic consent.
I don't know. He seems to think she did.
Just because she was excited doesn't mean...
Well, yeah, either way, so he has no sense of properly obtaining consent.
Well, it was the 80s. No one cared about that then.
And then... true, but... that aside, even then, if we make it a relic percentage, he just uses everyone and everything. He's a bad man, and I don't like him.
He is a bad man. I agree with that.
He's not a good man. But if you were a fucking... here's the thing.
He's a great negotiator.
Oh, yes.
Maybe it's because I'm a Slytherin. I'm he's doing a great job. I mean, he is using his advantage.
Exactly.
What's wrong with that? He's opportunistic.
He has that great conversation with Troy being like, I'm an empath, I use it to do my negotiation stuff. You're an empath, use it for your therapy stuff. How much of this is actually a problem?
Well, it's not so much that he uses it in his negotiations. He also uses it to get laid.
Using it on her was really shitty.
That's the thing.
I agree that he was a scummy piece of shit in terms of,
I have no problem with him using his abilities in negotiation secretly. That I'm fine with. That, you've got an advantage, and you're gonna
Leor would have backed out no matter what, and he would have figured it out sooner than anybody else.
But it's everything else. It's his involvement with Troy, and the fact that he tries to use her as a weapon against Riker, which is shitty.
Know that she really wanted ice cream? She never gets her fucking ice cream!
He's not that empathic. He's only a quarter Beta Z.
Give this woman her fucking ice cream.
But no, I am completely on his side in the case of, if he didn't use her as a tool and wasn't creepy to her, I'd have nothing against him. Oh, yeah, no, you use that shit, man. Run with it. You don't have to tell a soul. It's everything else he does where I'm just like, fuck you, dude.
I did think it was gross that she outed him, though. I know she had to do it, but it just felt gross.
I don't know.
I'm torn. Please.
No, I don't know. I just again, he totally was a shit and was really bad to her. And honestly, considering the events that everything, the way everything went down, did he mean anything he said?
Exactly.
Who knows, right? We really don't know.
We don't.
We have no idea because we know that he was colluding with the Russians. I mean, the Ferengi. And do you think his lawyer paid her off?
$130,000.
And do you think that
Quatlus or gold pressed latinum? That's hard to say.
One of each.
Gold pressed latinum. It's not hard to say. All right. Well, anyway, SoundCloud, face space. But anyway, the point is he was definitely. I don't remember what we were talking about. Oh, he was scummy. But I also feel you can. Well, I don't know. If you were talking about. Just to pick an example, homosexuality. You can be gay and be an asshole. That doesn't mean that it would be okay to out someone and because being an empath, not really a good thing for a negotiator, people to know it. Mm. I'm not saying that being Beta Z is the same as being gay, but I feel outing someone as Beta Z in front of their colleagues at work is kind of
The thing is, it kind of goes hand in hand with what you want to say, he fucking cheated, and here's how. Because there's no other ways you can be he was conspiring with the Ferengi, and they'll be oh, how did he do that? And she'll be I don't want to tell you, because I promised I wouldn't, but I did.
I mean, the thing is...
That could have been pre-planned.
Yeah, I assumed that had been discussed in private between the two of them earlier.
Well, and I assumed that's how they found out about it, and that's why they turned up to Maleficent up the place and whatnot.
Oh, you mean you think he was involved that early?
Yeah.
Oh, no. See, I don't think he got involved with Ferengi until they showed up.
No, it's too in the Ferengi's character to be like, we want in on these deals.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
Look at our
definitely...
teeth.
I totally buy that the Ferengi just...
Did just show up.
Really? Okay, so I guess I had thought that it was even more pre-planned than you
No,
guys
because
thought.
that doesn't
I
give him...
like the thought for what it's worth, though.
I mean, it's possible.
Well,
I didn't see that, but
it's not worth
it's
much,
an interesting thought, and certainly
How
a
many
possibility.
quatloos?
Well, especially
-5.
since by the end the whole thing is he wanted to convince the people with the stupid side tubes that, the Federation was always getting into scraps. So who knows? Maybe he actually... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I hadn't thought about
that's
that.
very interesting. That's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
In the
I have nothing to back
Federation-
up.
Prior to the start of negotiations, he also insisted that they remove all the extra chairs from the conference room.
In reality, though, whose job is it to bring in more chairs?
Who
That's a
watches
good
the
question.
Watchers?
Do they have a fucking events coordinator on the ship?
Yeah, that'd
Troy.
be the unenlisted people.
I'm sure it would just. I'm sure there's some,
Porters? Are they called porters?
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, we know, for example, that the Enterprise A had porters because we saw them setting tables.
Yeah, I mean, it might also just be something that's like a civilian job, like...
Maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, totally. You
Leader.
could totally be the official events coordinator or events staff.
I mean, again, I wasn't joking, though, when I said...
You think that somebody's got a plan for ambassadorial
yeah, well, and that's the
dinners.
thing. This is the Federation
Putting the
flagship,
fucking Antidians in
they're-
a fucking quarters instead of leaving them on the transporter pad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always negotiations and
Now you're
things
saying
going
it like
on.
that. Negotiations. Stop yourself.
Negotiations.
I don't like it.
But I mean, I certainly... We haven't seen it in a while, but I feel like in the first 2 seasons, it was often implicit that for some reason, fell under Troy's purview.
Because she's a woman?
But like, a lot of her stuff seemed to be like, she was the ship's counselor. It was also her job to, like, debrief Picard on... What's the word?
protocol.
Protocol and...
When's it my turn? Okay, sorry.
Protocol and diplomacy and shit. She even went over with him to the Shellyak ship, for example.
So she's like C-3PO.
And she dealt with Reba and everything.
Yeah, so like she wouldn't
She
necessarily...
just has a thing for mediators, doesn't
Yeah.
she?
She wouldn't necessarily have to bring the chairs herself, but it might be her job to tell some ensign to get... She tells the boy to go get them.
Wow.
It's a ship of like over 1,000 people. There's someone who can fetch fucking chairs.
Yeah, but I mean...
And it's Wesley.
But again, in theory, there's someone in charge of telling Wesley to get the chair, and it's probably Troy.
Huh, I don't like that.
I
Events
also
planner is a
disagree.
full-time job, as is... Well, I mean, she's not
As
very
is
good
Wesley.
at it.
But most of the time on the ship, the events planner is just like planning kids' birthdays, and then it's like once every 6 months, it's like, oh, we got a big important negotiation. Okay, let's just make sure we have enough chairs. That's like the thing I need to do.
The only thing. The one thing.
I'd like to think next time...
Keep Geordi away from their women.
Yeah.
Okay, we're fine.
Next time we see a negotiation on the Enterprise, I hope it's just a little joke. There's just too many chairs. So... Yeah,
So Troy gets some good dick in this episode.
Oh, right, that's right, we got off course. I was going to respond to your thing about,
Oh, outing someone.
I see, this gets
We wanted
into...
to get onto the big dick.
Like, I see where you're coming from, but at the same time, maybe it kind of, oh, eye for an eye, the whole world winds up blind. But I don't know if she's justified, but you can understand why she did, because she was, in some way, shape, or form, there was a violation of trust.
Absolutely.
And so I think she earned the right, but does anyone actually have the right? And that's probably a
I don't
conversation
feel like
I'm
she
not
would-
smart enough to
I
have.
don't feel like she... I don't know. Like, and again, like, I guess, like, maybe comparing it to being outed for being gay isn't really the same thing, but it is, like, an invisible part of the identity.
Yeah, no, I totally get...
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
it
I
makes
don't know.
sense as a metaphor, and it's...
I don't know if you want to keep the metaphor going. If you have some kind of like, say you're engaged to marry someone, and you realize your husband's gay and cheating on you with a man. Should I tell you this or should I not? Question marks.
I think,
Or should I out these people?
I think we're making a bad comparison, because I would say yes, outing somebody for being an empath who's obviously doesn't want it public that they're an empath, that on its own is wrong.
Yeah.
I would say that's bad, but here's the problem: he is in a position as a negotiator where he's expected to be negotiating in good faith. And if he had negotiated in good faith, that would be fine, even if he was using his empathic advantage. But where he went wrong is he started negotiating in bad faith when he double-crossed everybody by setting up the thing, by making deals away from the negotiation table. You know,
That's fair.
He made that deal with the Ferengi, he made that deal with the butthead guy, and...
Well, I think making sub-deals away from the table isn't necessarily frowned upon. But the thing with the Ferengi, staging a thing like that, that's definitely bad faith.
Obviously. Yeah.
Like, that is definitely unquestionably bad faith negotiation.
Is it like some kind of insider trading shit?
I don't know, but the rest of it...
I don't know enough about
I think it would depend on the rules of the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, ethically it does feel gross, but at the
Certainly,
same time...
But definitely the thing with the Ferengi.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, that's
the Ferengi
definitely
was
The
bad.
butthead guy, I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like...
That's a bit more...
Well, especially because the Ferengi wound up, like, poisoning our buddy...
the Ferengi...
Mendoza.
Which, Picard suspected they were behind it, too.
Sounds too much like mimosa.
So, I don't know. I still think he's a slime ball.
Yeah.
But I think we're spending too much time on this end of the episode, and we haven't gotten to the important part, which is the pussy!
Yes, we were... Oh, God, the face.
Poontang?
No, I was loving it. I loved her little night dress. I loved the
a couple little dresses.
Well, no, this was actually like it looked like it was actually the
white one?
the sleepwear. That looked to me to be like sleepwear because I could detect a nipple through the.
Wait, which one? The blue thing?
No, the white one.
Oh,
the white one. She was in bed and he was like
It
rubbing
looks
her
like it would
feet.
just fall right off of you if you rolled over, though. What kind of sleepwear is that?
Sexy
It sounds
sleepwear?
like the
That
perfect
was like
kind.
a,
It seemed to me to be like a negligee or lingerie.
No, it had the sleeves like that. Like
a Bardot, I think, is what that.
Is that what it
that
is?
cut is called? Is like Bardot.
Yeah,
Also
but
had-
there's a type of dance where that's the costume.
Oh, I don't know. But it also had huge sleeve holes.
Oh, I
It didn't have sleeves, but you could, see half her friggin' rib cage.
Oh, it's probably not a going out outfit then. Well,
Yeah.
How is her rib cage? Is it? Can you see the ribs?
No,
Is
but
it like
you
a xylophone?
No,
style?
you can just see.
Okay, that's good. At least she's eating well.
She didn't get her
eating
fucking ice
that
cream.
dick.
Oh.
What was up with the workout wear? Because
Oh my
was the
God.
I
80s.
could actually
Yeah.
see Crusher's pussy lips.
yeah, there was definitely a little.
There was some lip happening, and I was not
Not like
excited.
7 of 9 level, but...
No, but I mean, nothing
Nothing
is
is.
7 of 9 level.
So Ames.
7 of 9 dials it up to 11.
It was like what was the species of the butthead guy?
A Caledonian.
Yeah, it was like a little Caledonian toe.
Oh.
He was cloning
That's funny.
So was I correct? I don't know if your researchers would have dug this up, but was I correct in my assumption that Roddenberry forced them to put that scene in?
I didn't see that referenced anywhere.
Because I actually kind
People
of...
really love that scene, and I was like...
people are
infamous.
horny.
It's infamous. It's not. I don't think you'll love it. I think
They're all like, "Oh, it's boy talk."
They don't
They're having
love
a
it.
great talk about boys, and I'm like, "This is how they think fucking sci-fi is."
I mean, I think I wouldn't have... I found the conversation vaguely amusing. I just wish they weren't... If they were just sitting together in 10 forward, having a drink,
yeah.
sure. It's just the fact that there need to be the gratuitous stretching.
It would have
I
been
mean,
way
Gates
more
McFadden
believable.
is actually a dancer.
No, I know.
So.
Oh, no wonder she was so flexible.
She's
I was
very
like,
limber.
wow. Because I was thinking, like, she's got to be older than Marina Saris. I don't know by how much, but I assume she's older.
She actually helped with movement choreography for, I want to say, Labyrinth?
Yes,
Yes,
that is right.
she
Yeah,
was.
there's a good video of her doing that.
Starring,
David Bowie's Bulge.
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't
I've
think
still
she
never
worked.
seen that. You know that?
I don't think she worked on The Dark Crystal, but she definitely worked on Labyrinth.
Do you think she worked on David Bowie's Bulge?
I'd like to think so.
Did you notice Beverly's hair changed drastically between episodes?
I did not.
The
Is it
episode
shorter
before,
now?
episode before the enemy, it was kind of up around the shoulders, and then the enemy, it was long, most of the way down her back, and then the prize, it's short again.
Oh.
Oh. Guess we know what production order was.
Yeah, she's probably filming that Alec Baldwin movie.
Oh, yeah, she has a small part in Hunt for Red October, doesn't she?
Star Trek.
All over your face.
So-
I was thinking it.
Oh, yeah, you guys were talking about
Pussy?
Oh yeah,
sex.
Well,
Why
yeah.
are
so,
we back on this? We're
you
done
know-
with this.
Well, no. So the workout scene. It would have been much more believable if one of them had ripped one when they were doing one of those stretches, because
Don't laugh at him.
But that's what happens when you stretch
I'm
out.
sorry, I can't help it.
But
Fart
they actually
jokes
were
just-
stretching out, and they didn't actually fart. So
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I was like, this is clearly fake. This is like CG.
this is faker than the moon landing.
No, I think that they recorded over. I think they dubbed over the fart.
They dubbed over the fart.
But no,
know.
I think
They can also do multiple takes on TV.
I've done yoga 2 times, and I never farted.
Well, I farted standing up.
No shit.
I was saying earlier, I don't necessarily inherently, like, yes, of course, it's boy talk, which is one thing, but there was something very natural about the discussion that made it feel a little real. And I liked the discussion, and I just feel like it was badly undercut by the gratuitous yoga.
It would have been way better if they just had one of those fish bowls full of salad.
Is it akin to on Game of Thrones, whenever they dump important plot points, they have, like...
Sex position?
Sex in the background, or vaginas?
I've never seen it, but probably.
Yeah.
I even I especially just enjoyed the fact that he's like, should I stop this? And they just were like, nah. And I liked that, just being just like, fuck it. Just it was sort of to quote you, Caitlin, a get it girl moment. Because it was even after she acknowledged, like, Beverly was like, yeah, I fell in love with the day once. Lasted a week. Good week. And that was nice. Just an acknowledgement that women can just kind of also just want to get fucked for a while without... Because the stereotype is that, men can love them and leave them, but women have to be like... Women aren't supposed to want sex until they're married.
I think it was...
No, they're not supposed to want it then either.
Well,
That's like the oldest stereotype in the
True,
book.
but you know what I mean, though. It's just acknowledging that they can want it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you're right. That's pretty forward thinking for the 80s.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of reference to Troy specifically also being very stressed lately. We only see a little bit of it when she's trying to coax her replicator to make her a real hot chocolate or a real chocolate ice cream.
Sundays. Oh, yeah.
And she's never used a replicator before, apparently.
Yeah.
But there were a bunch of cut scenes of her doing counseling work to show how fucking busy she is and how like exhausted she must be all the time. She apparently would have been giving O'Brien counseling regarding his girlfriend Mitzi.
Mitzi.
That's
a stripper name.
Regarding
Mitzi.
O'Brien's stripper Mitzi. And also giving Wesley
better than
some
Keiko.
counseling about how his mommy wouldn't let him go to a party.
That's stupid. I'm glad those scenes were cut. But I'm going to have perhaps an unpopular opinion here because
She should have gotten strawberry ice cream.
I think that this episode and this Troy storyline in particular about this episode was boring, and I also think that it did nothing to improve my already low opinion of the Troy character. I do not think the writers did any favors to the character because every Troy-centric episode, it seems, is a fucking romance.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
It's not just the bang. It's just that it's like we don't get scenes of her doing her job. Really, I mean, other than
Like how they cut
incidentally.
those scenes last week of her counseling dead kid. No,
Yeah.
dead mom kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, counseling a dead kid.
Yeah,
would probably be
she does her job either incidentally as part of the outer plot, but there hasn't been a Troy-centric plot on the show, I don't think, that has not been a romance plot. Either with Wyatt Derp or with Reva or this bonehead.
Yeah.
It's like...
There was the child. That one specifically didn't have a romantic part.
But it did have the only other purpose Hollywood sees for women, bearing children.
Exactly. So I just feel like the Troy character still isn't being given
anything good to do.
Yeah.
I will say, I didn't find her plot boring. I just found it deeply cringy because
of Raul?
Yeah, he was a creep and I hated him. And whenever he was trying to seduce her, I was like, no, you're awful. Why isn't she fucking kicking you out?
Stop eating her hair.
No, if I was her, I would have been all about it.
Also, I don't quite like the fact that both times when he was... Well, the time when he was shitty to her, when they were having dinner...
Fishbowl dinner. Algae
It was
balls.
him that walked out.
Oh no, I accidentally ate from the
Which
terrarium.
I feel like, at that point, I kind of, like, he was always the one doing the walkout. He walked out then. The final scene with them where, like, she's like, no, I have a job. I'm not going to leave my job for you. He just, like, walks out.
Well, she can't walk out. Those are her quarters.
That's even more badass, though, isn't it?
Here, you live here now, but I'm not leaving.
Don't eat from my terrarium.
Excuse me, what? Not Reva. What's this guy's
Rawl.
name? Rawl. Excuse me, Ralva. I have to go. I got work.
What is it with Rowls? They're always little dicks.
So yeah, I don't know.
Except for
I wasn't
Julia,
crazy
he's great.
about. I wasn't crazy about this episode as a whole.
I think I liked it, but it definitely made me uncomfortable. But I kind of assumed that was the point.
I'm more interested in the genetics of irises because Rawl has irises.
Flowers?
Oh, and
So
Troy doesn't.
he is only a quarter beta Z.
Oh, I see where you're going.
He
with
doesn't have
this.
black eyes.
But he had those baby blues.
Maybe they're contacts, so because he's hiding the fact that he's
But
an
he's
empath.
but he's also only a quarter empath. So I guess there's
I think
recessive
contacts. I think that's the way it's gotta
and
go.
dominant traits. So I guess the human. He's more human than not. And until the end, until really his scheme comes unwound, that's when he gets his black eye on his reputation.
Oh! Yeah, no, that was forced.
Great.
I think it's a black mark on his record. I don't think he has a black eye.
That's a black. Okay, whatever.
Cool.
Love you.
But anyway,
But anyway.
it is interesting that he's the first Beta Z type person we've met that does not have the black eye.
Yeah.
Do you think he's got a
Brown
brown
eye.
eye?
Well, it happened.
I mean, of course it did.
Ames, you've been trying to say
I've
something.
been trying to. Yeah, it's fine. You know who I was looking into was Leor. The actor playing Leor was Kevin Peter Paul.
Was this the
tall thing with the butt head and the hoof hands.
Yeah.
He in real life was 7'2".
Holy fuck!
He
Damn.
played at least. I mean, on the Wikipedia he's 7'2". In a TNG book I read they said 7'4". So I'm going to average him out and say 7'3".
Sure.
He notoriously played a lot of monsters because when you're tall you play a lot of monsters.
Look at Doug Jones.
He played the Predator in The Predator.
The original?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he also played Harry and Harry and the Hendersons.
No fuck!
No way. The show or the movie or both?
Both.
No
I haven't
shit.
seen that in years.
And
Holy crap.
then he died
Yeah.
at age 35.
Well, that's
Yeah,
that
that's-
happens a lot when
yeah.
Which not associated with any height related issues. He died of age-related pneumonia from
Oh,
contracting
that's sad.
HIV from a blood transfusion,
That sucks.
which really sucks because I thought he was cool.
he was cool.
Now, who played John Lithgow in Harry and the Hendersons?
John Lithgow.
Oh, right.
In the show and the movie?
Did John Lithgow play John
I
Lithgow?
don't think he was in the show.
I don't think he was.
David Suchet was in the movie.
Really?
Mhm.
As a smaller Yeti?
No, that's Little Bigfoot.
Oh no, not that.
Nice, that thing. Oh, you know what I forgot to look for? I wrote this down. I saw it in like 3 different places when I was looking up this episode. But there's a moment when Damon Goss is in 10 forward talking to a woman, and he's supposed to make some kind of a gesture, and the gesture has been defined as him explaining how big his dick is.
Oh no! I saw him talking to the woman. I didn't see the gesture, but I did see her reject him, so that was great. Yeah,
Go back and see that.
some random yellow shirt.
Well, no, I mean, I saw him interacting with her too, but I didn't see the dick movement.
That's horrible.
Well, it's good to know
Fucking
that
Ferengi.
that shit's universal, I guess.
Now, the poison that they used on
Mendoza.
Mendoza, the poison they used on him, was that... I was listening to the explanation. Was that literally concentrated Ferengi sweat?
I think it was concentrated Ferengi blood.
Well, specifically, some sort of something extracted from the Daimon's blood.
I think what they had to do for that was they extracted stuff from Goss's blood so that they could put it on his hand without it killing him.
Okay.
I think that's how that
So
worked.
it was just regular poison that they made...
They made so that it wouldn't hurt whoever's DNA it gave it.
Oh, really?
You don't-
Interesting.
I think that's how
So
it
so obviously the poisoning was off screen, but I can only assume that like
Mendoza shat
Mendoza
himself the whole way down the hall.
like Mendoza like walks into a room and there's Damon fuckface and Damon
Showing
like,
him how big his
like,
dick is.
Put her there, pal. Like who shakes hands with a Ferengi? Like, really? That just
Well,
seems like a
that's-
bad
It's
idea.
negotiations. You gotta have to do it.
You gotta play the game.
Yeah, I guess so, but
I bet that's a rule of acquisition. Never shake hands.
it must be because you'll get all fucked up.
Yeah. Shat all the way down the hole.
And the party planner's there with the vacuum.
Now we need the fewer chairs. Damn it! I brought all these chairs
Computer, more chairs!
Real chairs!
and a goddamn ice cream for Troy.
Just beaming, it's beaming chairs in from everywhere.
Now, here's the thing, right? So, Riker was in the conference room at the beginning, right? When
Yep.
Damon showed up and the Ferengi showed up. But so was Mendoza.
Yeah.
Picard kicked the other two Ferengi out, being like, no, there can only be one representative from each party. Now, Picard's there because he's the host. Why was Riker there?
Bringing chairs.
Because he's the first host.
No, you're right. That's a good question.
Maybe he wasn't meant to stay. Maybe he was just
Yeah.
helping Picard.
Well, but also they weren't really
co-host.
representatives in that way, were they?
Yeah,
No.
he maybe also serving in a diplomatic capability, but not as a negotiator.
Maybe.
You know what? I did like Riker's interaction with Rawl.
Yeah, and the
That was
10
pretty
forward.
good.
Yeah,
he was a really good ex-boyfriend then when Rawl is trying to like make him feel emasculated.
Emasculated.
Emasculated. That's the correct.
You know he went back to his quarters and found a picture of Troy and cut her face out, though, right?
Yeah, and then fuck the photo. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, his dick is small.
It was a big.
It was an 8x10.
It was a big photo, and it was a close up on her face.
Yikes.
Okay.
Yikes. Yeah, he was also full of shit, though. No ex-boyfriend would ever say that. Especially not an ex-boyfriend still carrying
he was
a torch.
doing the bigger man thing.
Yeah, but in reality, I think we know who was the bigger man.
Well,
Worf,
Troy certainly does.
because he's got two of them.
That doesn't necessarily mean they're big. They could be two...
No, I said, and he's got two of them.
Oh, I was going to say, he could have two chodes. We don't know.
Yeah, so I hated that guy. I thought he was a really good antagonist, and that is definitely what I thought of him as through the whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
He just seems smarmy.
Yeah,
He's smarm.
Yeah, he's a smarmy predator creep.
Yeah, I thought the romance between Data and Geordi was much better. that is coming along really nicely. They're very cute.
Oh, God, but the fucking effects... In
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, the disco light.
Really, like, yeah, can we somehow get that clip, loop it, and put generic dance house music
You
underneath?
know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of, like, Glow Bowling in, like, the early 2000s.
Yeah,
I want a
Christ.
gift
Or
of,
laser tag.
I want a gif of Picard's epic eye roll when he's in his quarters in the ready room, and the Ferengi's like, you know,
that might already exist as a
it better
gif.
be because it was epic.
I'm pretty sure I've seen some Picard eye roll gifs out there.
There's
His
so
eye
many.
roll game is strong.
It is on point. Good episode, though. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought this was
Even if, again, it made me uncomfortable, but again, I
That
assume
was
that's
the point,
kind of the
yeah.
point, so...
two good episodes, I thought. I thought this week was pretty good.
Oh, here's a couple just random questions, just because I was thinking about the Barzans.
The Barzans.
And how they have this wormhole. They say that it's their first true natural resource, to which I say, how the fuck do you people exist if you don't have any other natural resources on your planet?
Maybe they have resources for their own sustenance, but they don't have anything worth trading.
That could be. But they also say that they haven't yet mastered space travel.
Yeah, so how
All
the
they
hell...
know how to do is throw pods at things.
Who contacted
That
them
was
first?
my question. Like, how do we know them?
But it's apparently not Federation space, so...
Yeah, it's got to be some, you know,
They
probably...
just throw a pod one day and they're like, caught it. What up?
It dinged
Put the coconut to your ear. Hello?
Well, maybe they, yeah. I don't know.
dinged a Vulcan in the head. Like, you know, like, land, it's yours.
Well, we know that
Explain
a
some
lot
things
of
about Vulcans.
other species, a lot of other races don't have the same prohibitions that the Federation has. So it's quite possible that
Oh, somebody else contacted them
the
first?
Ferengi possibly somebody made contact.
The
with them.
Cloven people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did say they've been relying on other people for generations, so it could be they had just run out of resources.
Nuclear war.
Something. Maybe that's why they have to wear those stupid tubes on their faces. I will say
Oh,
benzite
no,
tubes,
they did
way
say,
cooler.
They said that their planet was inhospitable to, like, other races, which is why they had to have the talks on the Enterprise.
Oh, I had missed that line.
Yeah, they said, and I was thinking maybe that's why you need these tubes, because you're acclimated to down there.
Yeah, so it's how they breathe. Like I said, like benzite, but benzite looked
but not like
better.
peppermint scented.
A vape harmonica is more your speed.
It just looked silly. I didn't like it.
The
the
vapor,
vape harmonica
No, the
didn't look
vape is
silly at all,
gorgeous.
for sure.
I guess I enjoyed that it had an effect, so I'm willing to overlook. And I don't know. I didn't like it.
Are
I
you
didn't
talking,
like the whole
about
makeup.
the Barzans or the Benzites?
The Barzans, I didn't like their whole
Okay,
look.
because the Benzites are perfect.
No, benzites are fun. They're great.
Benzites are perfect.
Perfectly annoying sometimes.
Well,
Oh.
Take that, the one that wasn't the one from the one.
Listen. I don't think they were that annoying, but that's just because most of their scenes were with Wesley, so it's kind of skewed the.
Yeah, it's
the
true.
thing
By
there.
comparison. Not as annoying as Wesley. Talk about damning with faint praise.
Not as annoying as... Fuck, I forgotten his name. No.
Who are you trying to think?
Wesley?
What character? What's he look like?
TOS Wesley.
Oh.
Wes Wesley. Chekhov?
No. No, to my mind, had
Charlie
Riley,
Adams?
had Riley stuck around more, I think no one would give Wesley any shit. Because Riley, in his 2 or 3 appearances, as far as I'm concerned, 2, way more annoying than fucking Wesley.
In one of them, he was drunk, and in the other one, he found his daddy's killer.
Yeah, I still fuck him.
Yeah, but when Wesley found his daddy's killer, he was like, "Can I work for you?"
Aww. Can you be my new dad?
He's his dad. I don't know if I believe that, but I just feel like we've run with that so much at this point, we have to pretend to
I
believe
think it's a
It's
pretty
obvious
fairly
now.
standard meme.
it was news to me.
I assumed from day one, there's something going on here.
Actually, the real secret is that thanks to a later temporal accident, his...
Wesley's his own dad.
No! Oh, no, I fucking...
Grandpa.
Julian
Grandpa's
Bashir
okay.
is his father.
Mm.
I think the only real mystery is whether she's born with it or if it's Maybelline.
Maybelline ceased to exist in the 22nd century. Hostile buyout. That was a terrible joke. I apologize.
You
Jake.
just use your phaser and blow something at your face.
There we go. Jake, get us out of here.
Sure.
Jake us out.
Oh boy.
Sorry, Ames.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't hear. I was grunting at something Chris did.
Oh, okay. Good.
Thank you, Jake.
All right. Well, that's 2 episodes. Sounds like we had a pretty positive response to these. I felt it was a little more of a mixed bag, but
My positive
What
human
was it? What was
response was...
mixed?
I wasn't crazy about the price. Yeah.
well, my positive human response was blocking out my beta Z response.
Apparently.
Hey.
Well, so that's it for these 2 episodes. Next time on Star Trek to Steer Her By,
Yep.
Podcast.
That sounds
the
backwards.
podcast, we will have 2 episodes, The Vengeance Factor. Ooh, Vengeance Factor. Vengeance Factor 8.
Warp Factor 9.
Yeah, see? That was the joke.
I like it.
And The Defecator. Nope.
Nope.
Ah!
Close.
Don't talk
The
about me like that.
Defector. Oh, the Defector. The Defector. Ugh! Oh, I defected.
I think you jettisoned Finney.
Oh, no. So those are 2 episodes. Defector's a good episode. I don't remember how good this one was, but we'll find out next time on A Star to Steer Her By podcast. Until then, you can find us online at Facebook. Search for A Star to Steer Her By. We're also on Twitter and Tibbler. SSHB Podcast. Download our podcast from SoundCloud and find us on iTunes.com/Apple and search for A Star to Steer Her By. We're also on your phone, in your Google, and your iPod cast app.
We've already downloaded ourselves on there.
I can't.
And they're
I'm
on,
trying so hard
on
not
your
to.
podcast
I can't.
app.
He does it every week. You're not used to this yet?
And
No,
if you
it's
have-
fucking hilarious.
If you have an iPod, you could sync us using a Firewire cable. If you have a Zune,
You're shit out of luck.
sorry.
Or your Star-Lord.
Yeah.
I have an Etch-a-Sketch. What
a
do
lot
I
of
do?
people- A lot of people say the Zune was a good device. I never had one. So
Me neither.
I can't
It
say.
seemed pretty good, but I didn't have one either.
Yeah. Just another, failed Microsoft hardware endeavor. Anywho, so that's how you find us.
Yep.
I mentioned the other thing.
Yep.
So do that stuff. And I'm Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
And this is always Caitlin.
the end.
See ya.
Be sure to tip whoever brings the chairs.
Yes.
Yay!
Be sure to tip your
More
party planner.
chairs!
Maybe it's like that game Crystallis.
What's the game?
It's an NES game, and it's in the future, but it's like old times, and there's a guy and he has a sword, and there's aliens, but they're kind of like
Butterflies?
butterfly-like.
Are they?
Kinda.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the title comes from, but it's like some really great 8-bit era music.
You said it was SNES?
It was NES.
Oh, it was the Nintendo.
Pre-S.
It was the Nintendo. I thought you said it was on the SNES.
Wow. We have new theme music now.
Oh my god! Please use that as the theme music this week.
It just keeps going.
How much of this do you remember?
A lot of
Is
it.
that-
Remember all of the music. I love
That's
that
the
game.
music? How the fuck? I couldn't possibly
There's this
remember
great like
music
intro
from the game
scene in that game.
15 years ago.
More than that.
Yeah, that's good.
You ever play Iron Sword?
No.
It's about a little knight.
What does the music sound like?
What's his sword made out of?
Oh, wait, no.